Otto Dix was born on December 2nd, 1891, in Untermaus, Germany. He was exposed to art at a relatively young age. His mother Louise was a seamstress, but she had previously written poetry. His father Franz was an iron foundry worker. He spent much of his childhood in his cousin's art studio, where he started to aspire to be an artist. He was encouraged by his family and professors to work as an apprentice for Carl Senf. Throughout his apprenticeship, Dix began painting his first landscapes. After his apprenticeship, he enrolled in Kunstgewerbeschule, an academy that concentrated on applied arts and crafts. At the academy, his works were predominantly landscapes and portraits that used two types of styles. His early works used stylized realism, which is a type of realism where you are free to play with shapes and colors to enhance the look and feel in any direction. Later on, Dix painted through an expressionist lens. Expressionism is an artistic style in which the artist seeks to not depict reality, but rather the subjective emotions and responses that objects and events arouse within a person. When World War I began, in 1914, Otto Dix volunteered for the German army. He was assigned to a field artillery unit and took part in the Battle of Somme in the trenches. He was awarded the Iron Cross for bravery. After the war, Otto returned to his hometown but later moved to Dresden, where he started at the Koch für Bildende Künste. In 1920, Dix began incorporating collage elements into his work. However, since the end of the war, Dix was struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder from his experience of war. His paintings changed from portraits and landscapes to paintings of war. His painting The Trench, which he painted in 1923, depicted dismembered and decomposed bodies of soldiers after a battle. At the beginning of World War II, Dix was regarded as a degenerate artist by the Nazi Party, and he was fired from his job as an art teacher. Due to the Nazi reign, he was forced to join the Nazi government's Reich Chamber of Fine Arts, where he was forced to only paint inoffensive landscapes. However, he continued to paint occasional paintings that criticized Nazis' ideals. Dix incorporated many elements of magical realism in his works. For example, he used exaggerated colors and included disproportionately shaped shapes. In his 1915 work, Self-Portrait of Mars, Dix depicts himself as Mars, the god of war, with angles used in the artistic style of Cubism. In this picture, death is abundant, with horses fleeing, buildings in flames, and cities that have crumbled. Yet he remains alive. Some speculate that this painting speaks the message that survival under such circumstances might give anyone a messiah complex, such as in World War I when this painting was painted. Currently, Self-Portrait of Mars is in the Municipal Gallery in Stuttgart, Germany. Another work by Otto Dix is his landscape painting of the Bernina landscape. This painting was done with oil on Pavedex. I really like this painting because it is cool that as the distance from the person of view grows, the seasons change from summer to winter to fall, and then to spring. It is all very interesting and surreal. Currently, this painting is located at the Kuntum Museum in Bern, in Switzerland. His 1947 work, Self-Portrait as a Prisoner of War, is painted using oil on a pressed fiberboard. Dix spent time at a French prisoner of war camp, in which he was granted access to art materials which he used to paint. During this time, Dix's brush strokes became shorter and ended more abruptly. This piece is currently located at the Municipal Gallery in Stuttgart, Germany. In 1921, Dix painted Farewell to Hamburg. The story behind this painting goes as follows. In the summer of 1921, Otto Dix visited the port city of Hamburg on the North Sea. As he walked along the waterfront, he saw sailors on leave as they searched for pleasure on land. Along the red light district, Dix found brothels and prostitutes in abundance. It was a scene that may have helped reinforce early prejudice. During the war, Dix often held sailors in contempt. The High Seas Fleet was in harbor for much of the conflict. From the artist's perspective, its sailors were chasing prostitutes and drinking gratuitously amounts of alcohol, while the real soldiers bore the brunt of the war's burden.
This piece is currently in a private museum in Munich, Germany. This last piece is called Dr. Hans Koch. This was also painted in 1921. The doctor in the picture is Dr. Koch, a kidney and bladder specialist in Dusseldorf. He is depicted in a menacing chamber of medical equipment. A fun fact about this painting is that Dix befriended the doctor and then took his wife to bed. However, the doctor was not upset because he was having an affair with his wife's older sister. Dix and Koch became brothers-in-law and remained friends until the doctor's death in 1952. Currently, this piece is located in Cologne, Germany, in the Ludwig Museum.